The Pithiviers and Toury Tramway. The town of Pithiviers, population 9,000, is located in north-central France, 52 miles south of Paris. It's a classic example of a communication hub, and 8 roads join Pithiviers like spokes in a wheel. The tramway is a 600mm line built to serve the very extensive sugar beet farms, and it originally had a network that extended for 50 miles. Today just 2 miles survive. The section of tramway chosen for reopening as a tourist line is at Pithiviers, where a large depot and workshop still exists. Here 260 number 9, built by La Meuse of Liège in 1938, prepares to go on shed for servicing before working the next train. The general appearance of the tramway was very unlike most other narrow gauge lines, in that grass was growing on the track and lots of scrap metal was lying around. In many ways the railway reminded me of my first visit to the Toury Railway in 1963. The station at Pithiviers had been newly built and consisted of a waiting room, booking office and small merchandise shop. All the prices were extremely reasonable. The carriages have been built on the underframes and bogies of former sugar beet wagons. The driver controlled the speed of the train by means of the locomotive steam brake. There are no continuous brakes on the train. These are former lightweight track panels that were temporarily laid into the sugar beet fields. For most of the route, the track is laid at the side of the roadway in classic French rural railway style. The first train of the day conveyed a cafe wagon at the rear of the train, and at the end of the line this was shunted into a siding near the station. Here the locomotive detaches from its train and moves to the rear of the train, where it will move the cafe wagon to the required position. The loco then has to couple back at the front of the train, where it will be able to depart around the balloon loop and head back to Pithiviers.
Yesterday there was only 2 people, one was me and someone else, and someone said, haven't these now going to get rid of the way further up, so we got to see.
The line crosses a plateau known as the Beauce. It has a formidable reputation for bad weather, a little of which we experienced. Back to the turntable and then return to the station for the next train. To serve the extensive tramway network, there was an equally extensive locomotive stock. When the line closed at the end of 1964, there were still 15 locomotives on the stock list, although not all were in use. The line had originally been built by the Deckerville Company, and its small locomotives predominated on the line in early years. Later, much larger locomotives were used, and there were 3 American 262 tanks built by Cook. This one was the last working survivor. They had been built for the British War Department and were used in France during World War I. This is the number plate from the Cook locomotive. It shows the unique numbering system used on the tramway, where the first number, 3, signifies the number of coupled axles, and 22 represents the locomotive fleet number. One of the American engines was bought for the Festiniog Railway in 1967, where it would work in a rebuilt form as Mountaineer. Over the lifetime of the tramway, it operated a total of 8 Mallets. This is 22-5. The numbering system for a Mallet uses 22 for the 2 two-axle engine units. This Mallet was built by Orenstein and Koppel, and on closure of the line moved to 2 other tourist lines before returning to its home at Pithiviers.